Hi, I'm Jon Kirkman. I'm a broadcaster and journalist based in the UK, and I'd just like to tell you today about this little item. Now, this is a very heavy box, I might tell you. It's America 50th. Of course, America celebrated, like a lot of bands did in 2020, their 50th anniversary. They were formed in London in 1970. Two of the guys were born in America, as it would seem appropriate. One of them, Dewey Bunnell, was actually born in Harrogate in Yorkshire. And the reason for that is probably because they got together because their parents were all involved in the United States Air Force, and they spent time in England and Europe. And they got together in London in 1970. Now, they very quickly got a record deal with Warner Brothers, and a guy called Ian Samwell played a big part in that. Now, Ian Samwell's big claim to fame before working at Warner Brothers, was the fact that he wrote Cliff Richard's first big hit and his debut single called Move It. And I'm not sure whether too many people in America will know that, but certainly in the UK, they will know the Cliff Richard connection. Now, we've got 8 discs in here, in this particular box, and lots of ephemera. We're going to work through them as it is. All of these discs, as you can see, this is a really nice little package. They're all got nice little labels on them. This, for instance, it gives you basically all the track details on here. And as you can see, these are the London demos. These are probably the demos that got the band the deal with Warner's in the first place. Now, they recorded their first album at Morgan Studios, and of course there was a big hit from that particular album called Horse with No Name, which again you hear all over the radio wherever you are in the world, and you also hear on some commercials these days as well. Now, this particular disc is a live disc from Bremen in Germany in 1973. Again, they did a lot of work in Europe, and they seem to go down incredibly well in Europe, although they hit a big successful streak in America as well. Of course, being called America, it's just kind of shoo-in for the success. People are already interested in what the guys are doing. Again, there's a lot of unreleased material in here. This is another live performance. This was from 1976. Now, the band, the first album by the band, which is the self-titled America album, was recorded, as I said, in London at Morgan Studios, which is in North London. A lot of famous bands record there over the years, including Yes, Black Sabbath, Rod Stewart. So many artists recorded at Morgan Studios. This particular album comes from 1981, and it's the Poison Oak Sessions. By this time, of course, Dan Peake had left the band, leaving just Dewey Bunnell and Jerry Beckley, and that's how it stayed right the way through. Sadly, Dan Peake died a few years ago, and but he did write a book about his time in America. If you ever want to look that out, it's a very, very interesting book. These particular albums, though, are incredible because a lot of these songs, and America remained successful right the way, in fact, right the way to the present. They're still touring and playing big gigs throughout the world. But it was a slightly different sounding band from 77 when Dan Peake left, because prior to that there was 3 songwriters. Dan, Dewey and Jerry were all writing songs. Now, the other big interesting thing, which a lot of people noticed, that between 1971 and 1977, the band's albums were titled and things like History, Homecoming, Hat Trick, Harbour, Hearts. They're just a few of them, and they all began with the letter H. The other big thing as well, right the way up to 1978 or 9, I think, when the live album came out, and this is following Dan Peake's departure, all those albums, apart from the first album, were recorded and produced by George Martin, who, of course, is famous for producing the Beatles. And if you think about the 3 guys writing songs, it was very like the Beatles. You had John, Paul and George, who were all writing songs. And George was very, very used to working in that kind of creative atmosphere. He actually said he enjoyed working with America because they were a great little band and they wrote great songs. Now, what you get here is an advertisement for the Live at the London Palladium which is again a nice little package there. And on the back here, yeah, there's various bits and pieces there that are also available. And again, they're a very, very prolific band. Now, here's a ticket, or a facsimile of a ticket. There you go. All the fans love all this sort of stuff. And what you could do, of course, you could take out these things and put them in a frame and hang it on your wall, of course. Here is the proof that you have a limited edition. You see the number there. This is what you get in each box. You also get some nice little stickers for writing that, which probably were badges at the time, because badges were always the big thing back in the 70s. I remember seeing that particular one, which was to promote the Hearts album. But yeah, there's some nice stuff in here. Now, in here, we get a rather nice poster. And again, I'm sure if you ever meet any of the guys, you could get them to sign it. It's America in Concert. That was when, of course, it was the three-piece band. Again, it looked very nice in a frame. And again, another little flyer from America on Tour. This would be the duo of Jerry and Dewey. And again, you get some promotional photos here. Again, from the Capitol years, probably. Yeah, you get that photo of Dewey and Jerry. Another one, a great photo of Dewey and Jerry. And here's a nice picture of the original lineup from 1970-71. They're all young men there, very long hair. And one from, I think this is probably from the Harbour era. This is probably one of the last photos to feature Dan Peake in the band. It was a Warner promo, and as you can see, they're all wearing very bright Hawaiian shirts. So I'm imagining that that is probably from the Harbour era. It's certainly one of the last photos that featured Dan Peake. Now, again, more collectible stuff. This is a program that was actually made for a Japanese tour in 1976. If you read Japanese, of course, it would be helpful because there's a lot of Japanese text in there. But that is what you would have got if you saw America in Japan in 1976. And it's nice thing, these things, if you have the real programs, they're incredibly collectible. It's got a lot of photos here. This is obviously a photo of the early days, the very early days of America. Again, that's again a different era of America there, because they changed a fair bit in terms of the way they looked over the years. But this is a really nice concert program. The Japanese really go to town. There's some nice colour photos there. They really go to town on when they produce these things, and that is probably why Japanese releases and Japanese concert ephemera and programs and stickers and T-shirts and stuff like that become very, very collectible. There you go. That's an advertisement promoting the tour. It's probably promoted by Mr. Udo, who was the big promoter, and they're sponsored by Fender. And of course, at the time, their current album's called Hideaway. One of my favourite America tracks is on that album. It's called Amber Cascades. So there's another nice little thing. Now, what you get here is the book about the basically a half century. You get both Dewey and Jerry making a nice little statement of thing. You get lots of photos in here of clips from reviews and concert reviews and tapes and backstage passes. And again, for the America fan, it's a really nice little package to have. I can remember having reel-to-reel tapes like that, EMI tape, which is it's amazing to see this. It even has evocative memories for me, because I used to have tapes like that for a reel-to-reel tape machine. Again, biographies of the bands from the time in the early 70s, and for the America fan, it really is a trip through time. And I've looked through this and read this, and there's some incredible things. There's John Wayne and Bob Hope, and I just think that that is a wonderful photograph. That was, I think, in 1975, 76 actually, because it was the bicentennial year for America. It was a TV show that they were involved in. Again, there's a lot of photos here. That was to promote the Hearts album from 1975. And again, I can remember seeing America on British TV in 1975 promoting that album, because they were actually playing live on a TV show called Supersonic. And they played, I think they played versions of Sister Goldenhair and also Woman Tonight, which was a Dan Peake song. And it was great to see them, because you don't get to see too much music unless you're on the Old Grey Whistle Test in the UK back in the day, or you were a band that was in the charts and you were on Top of the Pops. And America had lots of hits in America. They only had a couple of big hits in the UK. And I can't think why that would be, because all of the singles that they had hits with in America were absolutely incredible singles, and they were released in the UK. So I can't understand why America weren't a massive act over here, though they do have a very staunch fan base in the UK, and they do come over here and play regularly. Of course, it's almost like a Homecoming, which was the title of, I think it was their second or third album. And that was when they went back to the UK to record. And of course, forming in the UK, I guess, was like coming back to the homeland, as it were, even though they were American guys. So that's in there. What you get here as well is a nice little sort of a shortened, condensed promo of the box set. Now we take out another layer, and here we have more CDs. Now again, a lot of this stuff has not been released before. As you say, this is America on the radio, and that's basically interviews and performances they made for radio. They did a lot of things in Germany and occasional things for the BBC in the UK. Again, here's another one. Yeah, on the radio, more stuff. And if you look at the tracks on here, I'm sure you'll recognise all of those tracks there. And again, like I said, I can't understand why America weren't absolutely massive in the UK. They were huge in America for obvious reasons. There's another one. That's from the duo lineup of America. So that's obviously Jerry and Dewey. And again, the track listing here, pretty fulsome. Again, lots of tracks on there that you'll remember. Now, finally in here, we have a DVD. And what this is a fascinating fly-on-the-wall material on here. And what you get in there is there's some amazing stuff. There's footage of them recording things in Air Studios, which is a very famous studio that was owned by the late Sir George Martin. And there's an interesting interview actually on their private jet when they were touring in, I think it was 1975, 76. They were touring, they had their own jet, because a lot of bands, they had to cover a lot of distance. And it was easier to charter a plane if you're a big act and fly between the venues. So that's what they did, and they were interviewed on there for a local TV program, and they got the sports guy to interview them. So it's quite a funny interview, and the guys take it in good, well, basically with good sports over it, because he didn't really seem to know too much about them. But it was an interesting interview nevertheless, and the band were very, very, very concise, and as I said, they went along with it, and they even gave the guy a promo for his TV slot. But again, that's some really interesting footage on there, particularly, as I said, of them in Air Studios in London. If you want to get this, it's a limited edition, as I've said, and I'm sure it will go very, very quickly. It's just been issued, and it's issued obviously to celebrate the 50th anniversary of a quite wonderful band called America. And as I said, I think all the material in here is well worth having, because there's a lot of previously unreleased material in this box set, and you will have something to treasure for many years. And of course, that, if you can get hold of that as well, it's even better, because that's a really nice live box set of them captured at the London Palladium, which is actually owned by Mr. Andrew Lloyd Webber. But a lovely venue to play in, and I'm sure they love playing there as well. So there it is, the America 50th anniversary box set. Certainly one for the collection. It's very heavy, very substantial, and you'll have hours of fun going through that. The address to order it is going across the bottom of the screen as I'm talking to you now. You won't be disappointed in this. Might make a very nice Christmas present now, because we're only, I think, less than 100 days away. I think it's about 70 something days away as we stand today here in October. But it would make a really, really nice Christmas present for the rock fan in your life, obviously the America fan. And there's so much in this band's career that you will like. They're a fabulous band, and they're still a going concern today. Both Dewey Bunnell and Jerry Beckley still performing concerts and recording albums as America 50 years into their career, which is a pretty good anniversary to have. Anyway, that's it. America 50th, available from Gonzo Media or Gonzo Multimedia, and the address running across the bottom. Thanks for watching.